Hi, today we will be discussing on how to find the longest common prefix from the given list of strings. Okay, and the problem statement says that we will have to find the longest common prefix, and if there are no common prefixes, we will have to return an empty value. Okay, let me try to print the given list of strings. So I've used this particular test case here. So the input is this one. So I see that in my input, there are few common letters matching with each other. The concept which I'm going to use here is I'm going to sort this given list of strings. So once I sort this list of strings, what happens is right from the first element until the last element, all the common alphabets will be present. In case if there are common alphabets, all those will be sorted in an alphabetical order, and only the string which has different alphabets in it will be left out in the last element. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to compare the first element and the last element, because of which I can easily find out the longest common prefix. This is the logic which I'm going to use. This can also be done using iteration method, where I can set the pointer to the first string in the list, and then compare the first string with rest of the strings in the list. This might require a lot of iteration. In a very small list, this might sound to be much simple, but when we have a huge data set, iterating through it will take a lot of time. That's why we can choose to sort the list of strings first, and then just compare the first string and the last string to find the longest common prefix, which would be a faster method. Okay, let me try to demonstrate this. I'm going to sort this particular given list using the sort function, and after sorting, I'm just printing the sorted list of strings. So if you see, this is the original string and this is the sorted string. So after sorting, if you just observe, all the preceding strings of the last string will already hold the half of the letters in the last string, and that is why we will be just comparing the first and the last string, because all the preceding strings or the elements will have all the common letters between the first and the last, and that is why it is meaningful to just compare the first and the last string. So how do I compare that? I'm going to consider the length of the first string as the iteration length. So for I in a range of, for the length of the first strings, I'm going to do a comparison of the first string and the last string, and the comparison will be between each and every alphabet or the letters between these two strings. So the first string's eighth index is matching with the last string. How do I reference to the last element in a list? It is using -1 with the last element's ith index. Then I will have to hold all the common elements, all the matching alphabets between these two strings. So I do require an intermediate. So let me declare a variable here. Common prefix is equal to empty. Once this condition is matching, I'm going to append all the common alphabets to this particular variable. How do I append? This is the method to append. You can use either the first string's common elements, or you can refer to the last string. I will be using the first string, of course. Right. If there is a mismatch, you have to break the loop itself, because when the moment we find a mismatch, the common prefix concept ends there. That's why we are breaking the loop. So once the iteration ends, we will have to return this particular variable, common prefix. Okay. By doing this, we can find the longest common prefix. Let me try to run this code. Okay, I'm sorry, there is a spelling mistake. Okay, now we have achieved all the required results. Now our problem statement also says if there is no common prefix, we have to return an empty string. So we have to handle the edge cases as well. So if the given list of strings, if the length of given list of strings is equal to 0, then we can return empty. Else, if length of the strings is equal to 1, then we can simply return the string's first element, because if there is only one element, the length of that particular list will be 1. So the first element will always be stored in the 0th index. That's why we are just returning the value present in the 0th index. And yeah, so else, in the else portion, all this has to execute. That's all. This is how we can achieve finding the longest common prefix for a given list of strings. Thank you.